you apparently have a story that you have thrown money and caution to the wind. What is your gambling story?
So one day I'm sitting at my desk in New York City at 34th Street at ESPN the magazine, and I get a call from a guy who represents Phil Ivey, who is by far one of the greatest poker players who's ever lived. In 2010, he was in the middle of this run where he was winning World Series bracelets and tons of cash games, gambling with Jay-Z, gambling with Tiger Woods, gambling with Michael Jordan. So they say to me, look, Phil never does anything, and he doesn't. He's very reclusive. He's going on an around the world gambling tour on his private jet for 72 hours that is going to start in Connecticut and it's going to end in Austria. They're like, do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. So I call up our buddies at E60. They send me a camera crew. I'm going there. I'm doing a story for E60. I'm doing a story in the magazine. I meet Phil in Connecticut. We get into the casino in Connecticut, and he goes to a private room, a private cage where they keep all the money. He withdraws $200,000, plays craps at a private table, just him, for about 35 minutes, wins 150 grand. We go have a steak dinner, me, Phil, his buddies. We get on a plane. We fly to Montreal, land in Montreal, sleep at the hotel, get picked up in a limo, go to a new hotel, a new casino, another private room, massive room, another private craps table with his own croupier, and he withdraws $1 million. And he is playing craps. He's got dice. He's got chips all over the table. He's throwing dice everywhere. And when you're playing craps on a casino floor, everything happens in hyperspeed, right? It's so noisy. It's so loud. It's the most fun experience in the world. When you're playing craps in a private room with a private croupier and your own private table, you're not doing it for fun. You're doing it because you need the rush of gambling. It is a quiet, intense, unjoyous experience. And at one point, Phil's up about 750 grand and out of the million that he withdrew. And he looks at me and he goes, you want to roll? I'm like, okay. So I start rolling, and I don't crap out, but I don't cash him anything. So I don't roll twice on any particular number. So at one point, I've rolled so many times, he's got every number covered. The next roll is either going to be I'm crapping out, or he's making a boatload of money. I roll the dice. I crap out. I cost him $750,000 that was on the table. He looks at me. And he goes, dude. And remember, he is an incredibly intimidating guy. Like, if you look at old clips of Phil Ivey, it is Phil Ivey giving people stare downs and people like starting to scratch their head because they itch so much by sort of the laser focus of his eyes.
The perspiration that begins on your forehead.
Honest to God, Colin, he is the most intimidating person I've ever interviewed in my life. I would sit down across from him and like have nervous laughter because I was afraid. He's so much smarter than everybody, and he doesn't care about like giving you a good anecdote. He's just going to tell you what's on his mind, and sometimes what's on his mind is scary to hear if you're the person asking him the questions. He looks at me and he goes, dude, you're fucking mush. And that was it. Like we then flew from there to Amsterdam, longest flight of my life. And by the way, he ended up making another 1.2 million. It's not like he walked away losing money on the day. It was incredibly intimidating, but made for a great story.
Made for a great story.
Yeah.
That was good content right there.
Yeah. It was great content in 2010. It's still good content in 2021.